Sometimes I write better than I speak in the moment. So I wrote this on social media and I'm just going to read it verbatim and see what you think you can tell me in the comments. Someone asked, besides the economy, what makes the US the best country on earth? I could write 20 reasons, but here are the first 10 I thought of. What are some others you can think of? Number one, the vast majority of immigrants choose the U.S. first, proving overall we still have the highest standard of living, regardless of how some people crunch the numbers to show we don't, unless all those millions of migrants are stupid. Number two, we invented everything the modern world runs on. I mean, you can Wikipedia it, but we either invented or co-invented with usually several other Europeans cars, airplanes, computers, laptops, cell phones, harnessing electricity, every major social media except TikTok, and 1,000 other things. Again, you can mention in the comments if you think that's correct or if you think of some prominent ones that I should have mentioned. Number three, we perfected democracy. Yes, a form of it existed with the Greeks and Romans, and the British wrote the Magna Carta centuries earlier, but our Constitution is the model for the entire world on the best government contract ever designed. Most European countries have had multiple government renditions in the last 200 years, but the majority come to resemble ours, and most countries from other continents too, Asia and Africa and South America. Number four, we abolished slavery worldwide. It's weird that that's considered one of our biggest sins when the whole world practiced it, and we were actually one of the first countries to abolish it. England did it first, and they helped a lot pressuring the rest of the world. At the time, England had an empire that stretched around the world, so they had a very huge influence. But with England, we basically pressured the rest of the world to abolish slavery, with a few minor exceptions still practiced in secret but not government approved. Number five, we stabilize the entire rest of the world and keep war to a far minimum. Yes, we got harassed for wanting to be the world's police officer, or we get harassed regularly. But basically, after World War II, we said to Europe and Asia, you all are terrible at getting along, and we're not going to be drawn into another one of your destructive and stupid worldwide brawls. So we're going to play kindergarten teacher from now on and babysit the lot of you. We'll put our bases all over your countries and watch you like a hawk. And if any militia or nutcase wannabe dictators try to sprout up, we'll support the resistance, or maybe our CIA will just have a quiet little assassination to keep the peace. Number six, we ended communism. Would it have died out on its own eventually? Maybe, maybe not. What if it took over the whole world? Can you imagine 1,000 years of darkness? But we pressured Russia into an economic war that they couldn't win, and we bankrupted them with an arms race while opposing every attempt to spread their poison to South America and elsewhere. China saw the light and switched to capitalism in 1980, though both countries, China and Russia, are still dictatorships and still two of our more annoying adversaries. Number seven, our military is by far multi-layered. Number seven, our military is so far multi-layered with so many fail-safes that it would take a divine act for any 20 countries combined to ever take us on in another war. We have secret hidden nukes upon nukes in hundreds of spots ready to take out half the world if need be. Never mind the best of every plane, boat, etc. 10 times more than our closest competitor. Number eight, we have all the guns. Almost 50% of all privately owned firearms are in the U.S. Florida man alone could take on whole European countries, never mind Texas. Number nine, we are the last holdout to resist socialized medicine. What this does is incentivize doctors to become rich by finding newer medical breakthroughs every year. So we are the world leader in health innovations every year. So as much as the rest of the world calls us names and half our citizens complain that they want to be like the rest of the world and have this free, quote unquote, socialized medicine, which is never free. you pay far more in taxes because now you're paying the government to be in charge of it, just like public schools, and they do a far worse job. Just talk to some people who've been wronged by the healthcare system in Canada or England. I can go into stories about that, but never mind that. We are the last country that fully incentivizes doctors. If you create new cures, new procedures, new devices that will save more lives, you can make a lot of money off of that because it's a free market, and it's a pseudo free market in our health system still. If it were a fully free market, our healthcare costs would be way lower, but that's another conversation for another time. In any case, we are the world leader in health innovations, and we create more than half of all the health innovations worldwide, even though we're only 5% of the world. So all those countries complaining that we're not like them and ridiculing us are using all of these breakthroughs and technologies. And the wealthiest people around the world that can afford to pay for any medicine, they come to the U.S. for the best of the best. So there's that. I just realized the lighting is better on this side. Number 10, we are the best example of true diversity. The original melting pot. We have more nationalities and religions living in more peace than any other nation on earth. Yes, we bemoan and broadcast our sins of our quote-unquote racism to the rest of the world, so they look at us and think, oh my gosh, they're so racist, because we're always admitting it and throwing ourselves down on our swords over every little tiny inconvenience. Not that it was tiny back in the 1800s, but nowadays, compared to world history, it's nothing. It's practically non-existent. Compared to most countries that literally torture and murder their minorities still, we are fantastically better at getting along with our multicultural neighbors. And we have a wider variety of multiculturalism than any country on earth. We are a nation of immigrants, and we let in more immigrants than any other country on earth, even as we argue about keeping out being careful not to let in every single person from every single country, so that we don't let in dangerous people, as we're trying to let in people who could be beneficial and people who truly need our help. Anyway, in the comments, what did I miss? What did I get wrong? Let's talk about it.